Okay, welcome to another day 3 of the Money Momentum Challenge. Okay, we're cooking. First, let's start off with a quote. Small moves lead to big results. So today we're going to put your newfound money, right? We just found new money. We redeemed our money from our expenses. So now we have some new money to put to work, right? And our goal is we're going to build a safety net and start funding our future. Right now, in martial arts, Aikido is a form of martial arts where you're turning the enemy's momentum or attacks against them, right? We're using the enemy's momentum. So when they throw a punch, you're not just blocking it, like you're parrying it. You're taking that punch, boom, and you're shifting that weight. You're taking that strength and momentum, and they're using it against the opponent. They go to tackle you and you don't stop them. You allow them to come forward and you throw them down, right? So for us, right, the enemy's attacking and constantly reaching for our money, and we've now Aikido'd them, right? We've taken Netflix's reach for $15 and we've taken it and we said, boom, take your attacks for $15, shift over here, and now I'm using that $15 for something else, right? We're shifting the momentum of our money. So we're going to, real quick, we're going to talk about compound interest because that's going to allow us to set the context for the concepts that we want to talk about later. So let's watch this 1-minute video quick on compound interest. And
let's assume a very generous bank offers to pay John and Lisa a return of 10% per year, and they each invest $1,000 called the principal. John wants to spend the interest each year and only keep the principal in the bank, while Lisa wants to save for 30 years, so she doesn't take the interest out each year. In John's case, the 10% amount to $100 each year. So after 1 year, he'll have $1,100 in his account, out of which he'll take $100. After the second year, he'll once again have $1,100 in his account, out of which he'll take $100. After the 30th year, he'll have $1,100 as usual and take $100. He will be left with $1,000 in his account. So his principal and the returns he made amount to $100 multiplied by 30, so another $3,000. A grand total of $4,000 that he made over 30 years. Lisa, on the other hand, will make more. After 1 year, she will have $1,100 in her account, but she keeps everything there. After the second year, she will earn 10% of those $1,100, and not only on the initial $1,000. Therefore, she will have $1,100 plus $110, so $1,210. After the third year, she will earn 10% of those $1,210 and have $1,331. After year 30, she will have $17,449.40, over 4 times more than John.
okay, so compound interest, right? The idea that if we put our money into a place where we're getting paid to keep it there, right? The money makes money that makes money, right? So when you take that $1,000 at 10% interest rate, and you're making, let's say $100 at 10% a year, the second year you're making 10% on $1,100, right? So the money that has been added to the account from the first round of interest, now that entire amount is having interest added on it, right? And that's a compound interest effect. So when we invest that $15 from Netflix, if we could make 3% on $15, let's say 10% is $1, 1% is 15 cents, right? 1% is 15 cents. If we were to make 3%, we would be making 45 cents. No, that's not sexy. Okay. Well, after 10, if we did Netflix for 10 months and we saved $15, after 10 months, it's $150, which is a little bit more appealing to you, right? So if we saved over the course of a year, $1,000 now on average, it said that Americans waste about $15,000 a year, right? So we won't do 15,000. Let's just say $1,000 at the end of the year, 12 months starting January 2026 to December 31st, 2026, right? 1 year. We have $1,000. Okay, well, let's take 10% on $1,000, $100, right? 1%, $10 times three, $30. At the end of the year, if you compounded $1,000 at 3% interest, you'd have $10, $1,010, and you'd be able to make interest on that. Well, it's $10 in free money. One. Two, what we're trying to really, I'm really trying to get you to understand here. It's not the $1,000. It's not the $15. It's how often in your life have you had money show up that you earned that you didn't have to work for but one time. It's a concept change. For most of us, we're not business owners. Business owners understand this, right? If they're not working in their business, right? You can't own a store and work in a store and have the same experience as if you own the store and you never go there. And money shows up in your account because of the work you did, the investments you made in the beginning, and money just shows up. Whether you're awake, whether you're asleep, whether you're golfing, whether you're using the bathroom, it just shows up. That's the mindset that it's possible for us to earn money without having to work for it we worked the land like a farmer works the land. He's not surprised when apple trees show up, right? And now the apples are abundant, right? Same thing with you. So that's the mindset we're trying to develop now. We're trying to build a momentum behind this mindset of I can create something that allows money to come to me without my effort. I don't have to think about how many more hours I have to work to get money. I don't have to think about how many more jobs I need to get money. I don't have to think about, do I need to drive Uber to get more money? We're working here on a mindset that money is in existence. We just have to be in a place to receive it, and we don't necessarily have to put our work behind it to receive it. Okay, so that's the whole workaround, and that's why I showed you compound interest. Compound interest is a beautiful thing. It really is just saying your money can make money for you, and it can do it exponentially better than you can, right? Exponentially, right? Without effort. So what we're going to look at now is some high yield savings accounts. Okay, we'll look at some high yield savings accounts. We're going to share a couple of them. So the first one is American Express. Right, American Express has 3.5%, no monthly fees. Interest compounds daily. So this is pretty cool. They have these on savings accounts, compound interest on savings accounts, and on checking accounts and saving accounts. Right. So here's a nice calculator. $500. Let's use our example. $1,000 at the end of the year at 3.5%, we'd have $1,035. Right. Remember, my example is 3%. This is 3.5%. Right? Yeah, it's 3.5%. So at the end you would have okay, that's not crazy. Again, this is the national average is 0.4%, $4. Okay, so at the end of 1 year, you'd have 1,035%. At the end of 3 years, instead of having 1,070, let's say we get another $35, we're actually getting, it ends up being $70, right? So, okay. So it's showing you it's 3 years. So let's say if you earn $35 a year, it would be 70. It would be 105, and now it's 109, right? Because it's a small increase. 35 plus 35 is 70, plus 35 is 105. This is 109. Okay. And then at the end of 5 years, 1,188. Now this is if you left the money alone. We're going to add money to this incrementally to exponentially increase this amount of money. But you can see if you put that $1,000 in there and just left it, more money would show up without your effort. And that's the goal. More money, you just want it to show up. You don't want to have to go out there and get it. It will just show up. So this is an example. You don't have to go with any of these. I'm not making any money off of them. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just giving you examples of some reputable companies, American Express, reputable companies that are paying a decent level of interest. there are ways to increase how much money you're making, right? You can start a business, you can trade stocks and stuff like that. You can invest in stocks, or not necessarily trade short term, but invest in stocks. Um, you can, real estate. There's other ways to increase, so you don't have to make 3.5% a year, right? You could make much higher than that. This is if we wanted to just put the money somewhere, leave it, not touch it, not have to work. You're busy enough, you got kids, whatever, but you're trying to make your money work for you. This is the best place. This is one of the best places to do a high yield savings account. Another one is tab. This is Apple. So Apple has a 3.65%. Right? I like apples. I have apples. That's the one I use. Again, I'm not an affiliate, so it doesn't really matter what you do. But the advertising, obviously, the cash back. The idea is it's connected to the credit card. So with the other high yield savings accounts, you're putting money in. With this credit card, if you use your credit card, it automatically adds money to that savings account, which is cool, I guess. So there's Apple here. Let's see here. The last part we want to talk about is the investing apps. All right, so some investing apps that we want to look at. And why do we want to look at them? Because if you decided, okay, I want to trade stocks, right, which is what we do in this school, right? In this school, we trade stocks, right? There's some options for trading stocks that and even if you decided not to trade, let's say you decided not to, you didn't want to trade, you just wanted to invest, right? And you just wanted to buy a stock and then leave it, right? Or something like that. You, in theory, could in theory buy stocks or the S&P 500 or something like that. And if you were fortunate enough to get at a good position, you could buy it and leave it and get the same level of return, and more than likely a better level of return if you're intelligent about where you decide to go. So some options for buying stocks. So you can buy stocks on Cash App. They also have, they have a banking system, so you can get direct deposits and all that stuff and get added. Do they have a high yield? Oh, they have a high interest. Oh, they're 3.5%. They have 3.5% deposit to direct deposit. Increase interest to 3.5%. Okay, so you get 1.5%. If you add $300 each month, you get 3.5%. The stocks here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So you can buy, stocks on here, and it's pretty easy. I have an account on here that has had some stocks. And let me show you. We'll come back to that. So here's a S&P 500. Right. So if we were thinking, okay, well, we want to buy stocks. And we want to buy stocks and because we don't want to do a high yield savings account. You've heard good things about the stock market and you think it's a good time to buy, which is, it really is always a good time to buy. It really doesn't matter. Depending on where you decide to put the money. But as you can see with the S&P 500, this is an aggregate since what year is this? Since the year 2000. You can they told you about the dot-com crash in 2000, right? This is a dot-com crash, right? And then you had and 9/11, right? So you had 2000, you had 9/11 and the dot-com crash, right? Stock market came down. But like, look at it since then. This includes dot-com crash and 9/11. And look at the stock market since then. It's gone straight up. Straight up. So I don't know. It really is just a matter of it's not even timing. It's just patience. It's just patience, because you could have bought here and just kept buying and buying, just left it alone, just decided the America is not going anywhere, and then this would have happened over the last 15 years, right? Your money would have, what is that? Over 15 years, it would have went up 4 times. You would have quadrupled your money. $100 invested here would have turned into $400 over the last 15 years. And obviously, again, it's not sexy. But if you're talking 10,000 to 40,000 or 100,000 to 400,000, those numbers are amazing. And if that's if you did nothing at all. So we have, obviously, like I said, S&P 500. If you just bought something early this year in April, you bought one of these at 500. It's at 600 something now, and that's just with the S&P 500. Obviously, it all depends on what stock you're looking at. If you look at Nvidia, these numbers are going to be quite different, right? Look at this chart. It went from 16 to $100, right? And just this year, it's made as much of a move as 108 to 200. Okay, that's just this year. So your money would have been doubled, whatever money you put into it. This video is dragging a little bit, but I don't know. I think this is cool. I'm like teaching, but I'm also like actually looking at stuff too. So this is Robinhood. You can buy and sell stocks. You can see here buying, buy order, limit order, whatever. We can talk about all this stuff later, like the actual terminology. But it's here you can buy $10 worth, and you can see here the quantity. You can buy $100 worth, $1,000 worth, right? It doesn't. You can buy $1. You can buy $1 worth of the stock. Why wouldn't you? If you had $15, over the course of a year, you would own one full Nvidia stock, right? Over the course of 1 year, you'd own one full Nvidia stock, and that stock would probably double the next year with no effort. Okay, so that's Robinhood. Now let's look at, this is E-Trade, right? E-Trade is it's another investing app. It's powered by Morgan Stanley. Where is that? And not necessarily need to prove it to you. You can also right here from Morgan Stanley. All right, so they're powered by a very big bank, and it's the same thing. You're trading stock. You're buying. You open an account, put money in, pick an investment, place your trade. Right, and you can do the same thing. $0 commission fee. Here, it's the same thing. You can go on this and you can buy the S&P 500. The same thing I showed you on Robinhood. You can buy it on here too. It's just a different platform. This is E-Trade, and then this is the Schwab company, right? This is another big bank, and you can come in here and you can do the same thing. You can buy stocks, and it's just whoever you decide to use. Really, it doesn't really matter who you want to use. You can use Robinhood, which is just an app, right? Built into a, a billion dollar company, or you can use this, which is $1 trillion in asset management, billion dollar company, $1 trillion in asset management bank, which is, pretty big. And you can buy stocks. I can show you what that looks like. So, so I can come back here. You can type in, SPY, click on it. All right. This is the same thing we were just looking at. We can look at it over time. We don't have to show events. This is the chart, right? We told you the chart just goes up. The chart just goes up, but we can click here, buy. And here are the options, right? Where do I want to put it? Which account do I want to put it in, right? If I want to buy it, one account, the order type doesn't matter, timing, and then I could hit review and then buy. Okay, we'll click review, order type. Order type, but the market's not open, but you understand that I can't place the order, right? Because there's not enough money in this account, like cash in this account. But if you were to want to buy it, right, you'd put the money in, you put $600 in, and you'd buy it. Now there. So if you go here, fractional, Schwab invest in stock slices, you can do this the same. You can as little as $5. So you can't do it on my platform because I buy full shares, but you can come in and you can buy stock slices, right? As little as $5, affordable, right? So you can open an account, fund your account, buy fractional shares, right? So there's an account where you can buy fractional shares. It's just not, I just can't do it on my account. You can earn, we've been talking about like 3%, 10%, or you could earn 80%, right? Over the course of a year, right? You could earn 3%, you can earn 10%, or you can earn 80% over the course of a year. Obviously, 80% in a year is much better, right? Reporting period for this 80% a year is much better. It's much faster, but it requires a little bit more effort. I have to sit in front of the computer. I have to execute the trades, get out of the trades. It requires a bit more effort, not a ton, because there are different strategies. There's ways to trade where, you buy it at the beginning of the month and you look at it at the end of the month or in 2 weeks. You can do it the way I do it, where, I'm day trading, where I buy it today and I can sell it today or sell it tomorrow. There are different ways to really, and I'll stop sharing my screen now, but I'm having, but what I'm trying to get us to understand, and then I'll wrap the video up because it's been long, is you don't need to earn any extra money yet. You don't. All we need to do is develop I need to start putting this camera back like this. Yeah. And I'm doing the headphones. All we need to do is identify the holes in the ship, identify where money's leaking out, those variable and unnecessary expenses, even some of the fixed expenses that we can change and adapt and reduce. Then once we identify the enemies, right, we decide which ones we want to destroy, get rid of, Aikido, right? And then thirdly, today's day 3. Thirdly, we now take some of that money, $15, $10, and we repurpose it, right? And Robinhood, you can spend $1. Schwab slices, you can spend $5, right? And buy pieces of companies and just repurpose the money, Aikido the money, and just repurpose it. And we're going to talk, in the school, like here with us, you can ask me in lifestyle investments, you can ask me questions about how we maybe get more active with the money. But the first thing we want to do is just learn how to be a passive money maker, right? With these high yield savings accounts. How can I be a passive money maker? How can I put money into something and allow them to pay me money for leaving my money, like pay me, like rent my money from me. You're renting it for at 3.5%. You're going to pay me on my $1,000. You're going to pay me $35 a year to hold on to my money. I'll let you use it. Pay me $35 a year. That's a mindset that we got to be able to get into, because it's freeing to be the lender now and not the borrower, right? The Bible says the borrower will be servant to the lender. We can be lenders in this environment. Pay me $35 and I will let you hold on to my $1,000 until I need it, right? And that's a mindset we want to be able to shift into, right? Not like, oh, I got to go to work. I got to get another job. Those aren't bad things, but to what end? Am I getting another job so I can increase the amount of money I can invest so that I can become a lender? Am I increasing my hours? Am I working overtime? Or am I missing time with family and friends so that I can take the extra money and invest it so I can become a lender and not a borrower? Or are you working money? Are you working the extra job? Are you working extra shifts to buy more Christmas presents, to get a gym membership at Equinox? Is it Equinox a place? You get a gym membership at an expensive gym instead of the gym that set Planet Fitness. Working at home. Are you working extra jobs to buy a new phone so you have something cooler, I guess, to take pictures of? To take pictures of things that you can't, like, I don't know. It's no judgment. There's no judgment. I'm curious, but it's not judgment. But this atmosphere, our school, this Money Momentum Challenge, the idea behind us is, 45 minutes. The idea behind us is, how can we take our current habits, shift them, take our current mindset, shift them, build momentum towards a different way of thinking about the way that our position as it pertains to money, from being someone dependent on it to being someone who is a beneficiary of the money's actions, so look up those high yield savings accounts. Let's start there. And then as we build momentum with that, so we want to do a couple months of high yield savings. Once you've done a couple months of high yield savings, then we can talk about, okay, we've been making 3.5% for a couple months now. Let's shift into active capital. How can I learn to invest and I can learn to trade? I hope that helps. I'm signing off now. Peace.